Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome a successful food entrepreneur from New Delhi, India, Atul Gupta. Atul, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ashutosh. It's a pleasure being with you.
Thank you. Atul is the founder and chief executive officer of Bonvie Snacks. So, Atul, my first question to you: what inspired you to move from a background in finance and accounting to entrepreneurship in the food industry?
It's a very, very interesting question. So I'll give you a background about myself. I did my master's in finance and then I did my CFA. I was working as an investment banker in Australia before I decided to move back to India in 2011. Over there also, I was working into a very separate space, which was energy. So from banking to energy. But food has always been a passion. So I always thought when I was a child that I wanted to start my own retail brand. So when I was working with this energy company, we did a very big exit in solar business, and that was a time when I used to travel a lot. So I came across a technology called freeze drying, which is basically a food processing technology, and it just hit me. So I thought, ki now this is the time, and I left my current job, and then I started this. So that is how the journey of my food entrepreneur started.
Amazing. And tell me a little bit more about this technology that you found out.
Okay. So this is a technology which has been into existence for last 40 years. This is called lyophilization or freeze drying. So as the name suggests, it involves two process. First, freezing the product and then just taking out the moisture out of the product.
Hmm.
The advantage about this technology is that 98 to 99% of the nutrition value is intact. The shelf life goes up to just one second. The shelf life goes up to almost 20 years, and it almost feel like you are having something fresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So just to give you a perspective, NASA uses this technology whenever they have to send any food in the space.
Hmm.
So it has been used very commercially. I mean, instant. In fact, all the instant coffee what we drink is
Hmm.
made out of this technology.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And before I come to Bonvi, what challenges did you face in the early days of your entrepreneurial journey, considering that you moved from a professional background to an entrepreneurial role?
So my family business is always into food products.
Okay.
So I would say having a neck of doing the business was in the blood. But yes, when you start your own venture, it's like having a new baby.
Hmm.
So starting from conceptualization, then your planning, having a right team, having a right partners,
Hmm.
there's a lot of challenge. In fact, it's been what 3.5, 4 years till date we have been doing this, and still we face a new challenge every day.
I'm sure.
So running a business is not easy.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree with you completely. I've been through the same process myself. But let's now talk about Bonvi Snacks.
Mm.
What is the gap in the snacking industry that you saw that led to the creation of your company? And is there a meaning of Bonvi?
Yeah, yeah. So yes, Bonvi is derived out of two words, which is bon and vie. They both are French words. So bon means good and vie means life.
Mm-hmm.
So what we want to inculcate is a good life, which means healthy life.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean the idea behind having a name Bonvi is to have mindful eating, nice eating, clean eating. So yes, there was a huge gap what we see. So in India, after COVID, what we have seen, people have started reading the labels. They have started reading the ingredients. So they become more mindful.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were seeing a very clean label, it was not tasty. So it was not giving them the taste of the snacks. So either the thing was healthy or it was tasty. So there was a huge gap between health and taste. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why we thought, let's get into this. And touch wood, I mean, it's been quite a good journey as of now. People have loved the product. We have got a lot of repeat demand. So yeah, I mean, quite happy with the progress so far.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about the products that you currently have.
So we started with our first range called fruit snacks. Fruit snacks is something in which we are taking a fresh fruit and just taking out the moisture from that.
Hmm.
So the end product becomes very crunchy.
Hmm.
So it gives you a crunch taste, and then it has all the nutrition value that of a fruit. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean that was our first SKU. But then we realized in India, people don't only eat sweet as a snack; they want something savory. So then from the same technology, we got into corn snacks. In corns, we have added a seasoning like peri peri, mint, which is a quite, I would say, interesting flavors for Indians. After that, we got into a very unique product called ice cream snacks. So
Hmm.
most of the Indians, they love eating ice cream, but then there were two problems. Either they fell sick or they don't, I mean, it's difficult to carry because the melting issue and all those things. So using the same technology, we made an ice cream into a snacks, which has become a very interesting product.
Hmm.
So these three products were onto a freeze dried technology, but then we got into another product which is air fried chips. So these are the vegetable chips which are made through the air fried technology. Again, super healthy because the usage of oil is very less.
Hmm.
There is no potato, there is no palm oil, so they are very very healthy. And the latest product what we have just entered is like 4 months back is into makhanas. So
Hmm.
we have done a very unique flavors of makhanas like coffee caramel, wasabi, Thai chili. So just wanted to have the right flavors with the right ingredients so that end consumer feels happy after having them.
Very interesting. Atul, how do you define healthy snacking? And how are you making Bonvi um, more healthy snacking accessible?
Yeah. See, today healthy snacking, I would say, is just two words. It's a clean label. I mean, the ingredients what you are using should be good. There should not be any kind of preservatives. There should not be any kind of bad material like
Hmm.
palm oil, etc. And at the end of the day, I mean, if you are able to give it to your kid without a second thought, then I think we are able to give it to the audience. So whenever I think of a new SKU to be launched, I first think, can I give it to my kids or not? If the answer is yes,
Hmm.
then I move to the next step to make it commercially available for everyone.
Hmm.
Now, in terms of your second question, accessibility, yes, see today, in terms of our channels, number one, the product should be quite good enough so that it can be eaten by everyone.
Hmm.
So right now, the range what we have is starts from 100 rupees and it goes up to 300 rupees. So it is accessible by everyone. The second channel, or I would say the second problem what we faced was the distribution. So we started with online because we wanted to have a customer behavior and all those things tested out.
Hmm.
And now, since I mean, we got a good feedback, now we are moving towards the main line, which is the offline. So we are available in a lot of stores in Delhi. We are available in a lot of stores in Bombay. Now we are moving towards other tier one, tier two cities. Post that will go towards tier three. So we want a product should be accessible to everyone. In fact, we have just got an agreement with one of the leading vending machines in India, so our product will be available across all the vending machines in offices, airports, metro stations, everywhere.
Very interesting. And what are some of the misconceptions the Indian consumer has about processed food that you are solving?
See, many people think that if there is a processing happening, so there will be a lot of preservatives which will be added.
Hmm.
In fact, before COVID, people used to think that if it's a processed fruit, it's not fresh or it has a lot of preservative, which is not good for yourself or for your family.
Hmm.
But now things have changed a lot. A lot of technologies have been coming up, which is helping to process the food in a far better manner without adding any kind of preservatives, without adding any kind of additives. But
Hmm.
yes, still there is a lot of misconception. Like if it's a processed food, then there must be a preservative which is added.
Hmm. Very interesting. Moving on, Atul, the snack business in India and the healthy snack business has got hundreds of brands now. How are you differentiating yourself in such a competitive market?
Again, a very interesting questions. You are right. I mean, snacking is a big market in India.
Yeah.
I think the last data I read, it's around what 45,000 odd crores.
Yeah.
And then healthy snacking is almost half of it.
Hmm.
So, and you're right, there are many brands coming. Every new day you see a new brand. So see, two things what we were very, very clear from day one, that we have to be a standout product. We don't want to just run a race where many other players are running. So
Hmm.
two things what we are using. One is a technology, like in our three categories, which is fruit snacks, ice cream snacks, and corn snacks. We are using a technology like freeze drying, which is making a product super healthy yet tasty as well. Then in the other product, which is our vegetable chips, we are using a technology called air fried. Again, a use of technology is there to make the product tasty yet healthy.
Hmm.
Last thing, which is makhanas. Now you will ask what's the difference in makhana? I mean, every people in I mean, we must have maybe 500 makhanas brand. But see
Correct.
the kind of flavors what we are doing, like a wasabi, a Thai chili, that's giving an international taste to an Indian customer.
Hmm. Hmm.
So in that we are just playing along with the profile of the seasoning what we are using.
Hmm. Very interesting. You were just telling me a few minutes ago about how you have started with e-commerce and have now gone offline.
Yeah,
Based on my own past experience, building a distribution channel in our country is not only difficult but expensive.
it's very
How are
expensive.
you doing this?
Yeah. So see, when we started our business, the retail business, we thought of going offline first.
Hmm.
But then you are right, it's a very expensive, very, I would say, cumbersome process. RTVs, having a right distribution partners. So what we did, we first set up a plant online. I mean, our brand was first sold online. See, in online, you have two advantages. Number
Hmm.
one, you can have a customer experience much faster. You know what is the customer behavior pattern, what is the spending pattern. Second, you are very, very flexible in terms of your SKUs. So today, if you think that one product is not working, you can just simply shut and start a new product, or maybe just close that SKU and start a new SKU,
Hmm.
which is not possible when you go to the offline channels,
Correct.
because once the product is on shelf, it's very difficult to take it out. But
Correct.
having said that, see, if you have to build a brand in India, you have to crack both the channels. You can't build a brand just being online, and you can't build a brand in today's era just being offline.
Yeah.
But once your brand is accepted by the public, and they go and see to these stores, and they ask the managers like, can we have that product? So it's a pull effect. People will start asking for your demand, for your product. So in that way, now it's easy for us to have a right distribution partners. Now people come to us and say, yeah, yes, if you want to get into offline mode, we will help you. So I always tell my fellow entrepreneurs, like, if you want to have any brand in India, start with online, understand the consumer pattern,
Hmm.
understand what he wants, understand the price point, and once you tick mark all these boxes, then move to the offline channel as well,
Hmm.
because you have to provide everything to a customer. See, in online, one of the challenges, if you want a snacks today, you will not wait for 3 days for an online order to come. So you
Correct.
will rather go to a store, or maybe order from a quick commerce website to have them.
Hmm.
So you have to be present everywhere.
Hmm. Absolutely. But the other challenge of online distribution and offline distribution is that the amount of inventory you have to carry is quite significant. What are
See,
your plans to manage your inventory?
the beautiful part about our product, we have a minimum shelf life of 1 year,
Okay.
and then the maximum shelf life goes up to 2 years. So for us, inventory is not a big challenge in terms of availability. I
Hmm.
mean, we normally have 2 to 3 months of inventory at any point of time, and
Hmm.
then our plant is quite capable of giving us a new fresh stock of inventory within a span of just 7 days.
Hmm.
So at least because of the shelf life, at least we are safe from that issues of expiry or having a just-in-time inventory.
Hmm. Okay. Moving on, the fact that, and this is my own perception also as a consumer, that if you freeze dry something, there could be a loss of taste. How do you balance taste, convenience, and nutrition in your product development? And also give me some idea about the science and technology that goes behind freeze drying.
So, okay. So in terms of freeze drying, again, as I said, I mean, the process involves two steps. First, you freeze the product. So any fruits, vegetable, or in fact, matter of fact, even the coffee, which is like
Mm.
most of the coffee is freeze dried right
Yeah.
now. So you first freeze it to minus 60 degrees. So all the moisture inside that gets frozen.
Mm.
Now, through a high vacuum and a very slow process, you take out that moisture. This process is called lyophilization.
Mm-hmm.
So it means when a solid gets converted into vapors without getting into water state.
Mm.
So the advantage, I mean, 98% of the nutrition value is intact. There is
Mm.
no loss of taste. The shelf life increases. So in fact, any freeze dried product, when you smell, you will feel like you are having a fresh product. So just again, I mean, you would have smell of coffee, like an instant coffee, a David
Mm.
of instant coffee. It just give you the smell of that fresh coffee. So
Mm.
same is the process which is involved over here. So
Mm.
another example which I want to give. So all the instant noodles or maybe instant soups, the vegetable what is put inside that are
Yeah.
freeze dried.
Correct.
So whenever you have them, you will feel like you are having like a fresh.
Mm.
In fact, a lot of ice cream manufacturing companies, they use freeze-dried fruit powders to make their ice cream because
Mm.
fruits are not available throughout,
Correct.
and now they don't want to use the pulps of the things, so they move towards freeze-dried to make to give that natural effect or natural taste.
Very interesting. Thank you. Um, let's talk a little bit about the supply chain. Uh, how are you using technology to handle the supply chain in our country? Because supply chain now is becoming very, very complex, and delivering it to the farthest points in our country is always a challenge.
So again, yeah, I mean, India is a big country with approximately, I think, 60 or 70,000 pin codes, and delivering to each and every corner is a challenge, and
Correct.
you can't just do it from one place. So yeah, in terms of our supply chain, what we have done, we have made small warehouses in 8 cities, which is catering to the complete India. Now, those 8 warehouses are like having a direct sync with our main warehouse, which is back in Delhi NCR. Now, we have a threshold of each SKU, and as soon as that threshold is hit in those individual SKUs, we get a trigger to our main system over here, and
Hmm.
then automatically our logistics partner, they supply the material from the main warehouse to those hub warehouses. So yeah, I mean, technology is the key right now. I mean, in fact, we are using technology from production till I would say end customer. Once it reaches the end customer, we use a lot of technology in getting the feedback of the customer. So yeah, I mean, technology is the key today. I
Sure.
think, and in fact, while we are talking, we are speaking to our IT head how we can integrate AI in having a much more seamless experience to the customer.
Hmm. Atul, we've spoken about Bonvie Snacks, we've spoken about snacking, we've spoken about technology that goes into it, we've spoken about supply chain.
Mhm.
My next question is about how are you building the brand and educating consumers about the difference between Bonvie and conventional snacks? Because no matter how good your product is, unless I, as a consumer, buy it from the shelf, you're not getting the revenue.
I agree with you. See, in fact, we have two challenges over here. Number one, first, educating the customer about healthy snacks.
Correct.
Because a lot of customers, they feel whatever they're having right now is healthy, but it's not healthy. So
Correct.
that's the first challenge. And then the second challenge is, okay, if customers, okay, like I want healthy, then why Bonvi? Why not something else?
Hmm.
So yeah, there are two levels of challenges what we are facing right now. But yes, after COVID, what I've seen, people are starting reading labels a lot. They have
Hmm.
started reading nutrition value a lot. I still remember, like when I was a kid, like my parents never used to see even the expiry date. I mean, but when we
Correct.
grew to a age, then we told them at least see the expiry date. But now the kids today, they are seeing what is the nutrition value. If is it they are good for their daily intake of nutrition or not, and what are the ingredients.
Hmm.
So at least the first challenge of educating the customer about healthiness or healthy eating is kind of fulfilled. Now,
Mm.
why Bonvi? So see, we are telling that yes, there is a gap. I mean, a lot of people whenever they eat something healthy, I mean, there is I would say bad thought in their mind. Yeah, it was not tasty. Why should I have it again?
Yeah,
See, ultimately, snacks is something which people should have it anytime they want. They
correct.
should not think, yeah, it was unhealthy, so I'm not having it, or it was not tasty, so I'm not having it. So you should have to fulfill both the things. You have to tick mark both the boxes. So
Mm.
now we are educating customers why Bonvi is good. So we are using a lot of digital marketing right now. I mean, we haven't got into, I would say, mainline marketing, which is offline, but yeah, we are using a lot of digital marketing through
Mm.
Meta ads, through Google ads, through Amazon, and we are educating the customer.
Mm.
We are doing a lot of offline BTL activities like exhibiting in a lot of Diwali melas,
Yeah,
exhibiting in a lot of your regional melas. We do a lot of school sponsorship for their fest, and we talk about Bonvi over there. Then we exhibit in a lot of food fairs. I personally go to a lot of podcasts. I tell people about what exactly is Bonvi about, what we are building. So yeah, we are trying our bit
correct.
over here.
Absolutely. Well said. I have time for two more questions for you, Atul.
Yeah.
What role does sustainability play in your business practices?
Yeah. I mean, again, so it is one of the very important parameters about us. So one reason of starting Bonvi was I want to have this healthy snacking across, I would say, generations and across all the age group. The second important thing was I still remember I was reading one of the articles and I saw like almost 45% of Indian produce, fresh
Mm.
produce gets wasted because there was no primary processing, then there was no tertiary processing, because whatever fresh produce you do, I mean, it just goes into those warehouses and after a certain period of time, it gets wasted.
Mm.
So when I used to meet these farmers and I used to understand their pain point, it was a very, I mean, a difficult situation to even imagine what they are going through. In our plant, we are very clear that we have to have the best of the sustainable practices. Number one, we start with whatever produce a farmer makes. We buy everything day one and we process. So the
Mm.
farmers becomes happy, his livelihood is much better. Second, as a country, we tend to have a better GDP in terms of less wastage because India is still an agrarian agriculture economy. And if our wastage is minimized, then yes, which means we'll have a better GDP. Then from packing stand of view, I mean, all our packaging, whatever we are doing, they're all
Mm.
recyclable.
Mm.
I mean, so yeah, everywhere, whatever we can reduce the wastage, we are doing that. In fact, we are a paperless company. We don't use paper at all in our
Mm.
company.
Mm.
Whatever invoices, everything is digital. So yeah, I mean, we are trying
Very
to
interesting.
give back to the society
Yeah,
whatever the best we can.
fascinating. And my last question for you, Atul. How do you see the Indian snacking market evolving over the years? And where do you see Bonvi fitting in?
See, I think this market will almost grow double. The snacking market will grow double in next 5 to 6 years,
Mm.
and the major contributor from that would be healthy snacking. In fact, a lot of bloggers, a lot of content creators, even celebrities, they talk about health, they talk about mindful eating. So I think this market is tend to grow at least by 10 to 12% year on year.
Mm.
Uh, and it's a huge market. I mean, with India is a consumer economy, so with
Correct.
this kind of growth, I think there's a huge potential for a brand like us and a lot of other brands. So the important thing would be how well you understand the customer behavior, how well you understand what customer wants, and if you are quite fast enough over there in offering the product what a customer wants, I think you can build a very good brand.
Mm.
So, I mean, in past there used to be brand, and I don't want to name them over this
Yeah,
podcast, but yeah,
absolutely.
they took almost 30 to 40 years to reach over here. But
Correct.
now I think with all this digital presence, digital and a lot of use of technology plus AI, you can build up big brands like them in next 10 years.
Correct. Absolutely.
So I think it's just that you have to be you have to be resilient. You have to be very proactive in whatever you do.
Mm.
Because if you are not doing it, someone else will do it in
Correct.
your job and they will go ahead.
Absolutely.
So I think, I mean, I have a vision that like people don't call mineral water, they call Bisleri. So
Mm.
I want in 10 years people should call Bonvie when it comes to healthy snacking.
Very well said.
Yeah.
And on that note, Atul, I just want to say thank you for a wonderful conversation. I wish Bonvie Snacks and you and your entire team all the very best. And I hope to see someday. Uh, every time I want to look for a snack, I say, give me a Bonvie snack. Thank you
Thanks
again,
a
and good
lot.
luck to you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the brand called You.